Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you guys are doing great. So today we will talk about trigonometry again. This is the fifth section of the chapter that we were discussing. So let me just quickly go through the contents that we have discussed so far. In the first unit, we talked about secant, cosecant, and cotangent. We did a few examples. Then we discussed addition formula. So it was basically about sine A plus B or sine A minus B, cos A plus B or cos A minus B, stuff like that. And then we discussed double angle formulas where we derived the double angles using the addition formulas, and then we solved a few questions, and then we did a past paper question. And now we are going to talk about the fifth unit of the same chapter. Okay, all right. So it's easy, but it's very, very important. So let's talk about it. Okay. It's 3.5, expressing A sine theta plus B cos theta in the form R sine theta plus minus alpha, or R cos theta plus minus alpha. Now it says expressing A sine theta plus B cos theta in the form R sine theta plus minus alpha, or R cos theta plus minus alpha. Okay, this is going to make sense once we talk about a few scenarios, then things would get clear. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's talk about one example and then I'll talk about the general proofs we will be using every time. Okay. So, question number one. It says express two sine theta plus cos theta in the form r sine theta plus alpha, where r is greater than 0 and alpha is between 0 degrees and 90 degrees, giving the exact value of r and the value of alpha correct to two decimal places. Okay. And then we have another part, we'll talk about it later. Okay. Question says express 2 sine theta plus cos theta in the form r sine theta plus alpha, where r is greater than 0, alpha is between 0 and 90 degrees. And you need to give the exact value of r and alpha correct to two decimal places. Okay. So you need to express this in this form. Let's write it down. So it is 2 sine theta plus cos theta equal to r sine theta plus alpha. I need to prove, or I need to rewrite the left hand side as the right hand side, and for that I need to find the corresponding values of r and alpha. And how would I do that? I would be able to do that by making appropriate comparisons. Okay, so first of all, I need to expand the right hand side. The left hand side is going to stay as it is. It is 2 sine theta plus cos theta, and the right side is going to be, it's r, and it is sine theta cos alpha plus cos theta sine alpha, and this would become r sine theta cos alpha plus r cos theta sine alpha. Now I can directly compare that I have 2 sine theta here and I have r cos alpha sine theta. This implies that 2 is equal to r cos alpha. Similarly, cos theta is with 1 and cos theta is with r sine alpha over there. So 1 is equal to r sine alpha. Okay, so this is going to be the situation. Now I am going to square both sides. Why? You'll get to understand that shortly. I'll be squaring both sides of the equation, of for both the equations. Square, 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 and square. And now I am going to add the left and right side. So this would be 2 squared plus 1 squared equals r cos alpha squared squared plus r squared, and then I have sine squared alpha. This would become 5 equals, I can take r common, r squared common, and this would give me cos squared alpha plus sine squared alpha. And I certainly know that cos square plus sine square is basically equal to 1. So this would give me r squared equals 5, and I would get r as root 5. Okay, so the examiner said you need to give the exact value of r, means I'll write down root 5 for this. And now since I have the value of r, I need to find out the value of theta, or basically alpha. So what we can do is, even at this step, I was able to find the value of alpha without knowing r. How? So the two equations were these two. I could have just done r sine alpha divided by r cos alpha equals 1 by 2. R and r is cancelled, and then tan alpha equals 1 by 2. How? I have divided 2 by 1. So this is how it would look like. And now if I'm interested in finding out the value of of alpha, I'll do tan inverse 0.5, and that would give me alpha as 26.57 degrees, because the examiner clearly mentioned alpha has to be correct to 2 decimal places. Now I have the value of r and alpha. So I can write down the final answer as 2 sine theta plus cos theta can be written as this, and r turned out to be root 5. Sine theta plus alpha turned out to be 26.57 degrees. So this is going to be the answer. Okay, now again in this question, things were easy. Some of the students and some of some books have basically this method that they just tell you how to find the value of r and how to find the value of theta, and then we do it. But since we have multiple scenarios, so it could be a bit challenging as well, right? So let's stick to one method and then you guys would be able to understand the situation. Okay, all right. Let's talk about the next part of the same question. Okay, part B basically was hence solve the equation 2 sine theta plus cos theta equals to for theta between 0 degree and 360-degree. Okay, this was basically the question. Okay, now if I talk about the solution, I know that 2 sine theta plus cos theta turned out to be root 5 sine theta plus 26.57. So this would imply that root 5 into sine theta plus 26.57 degrees is equal to 2, because this thing was equal to 2. And I can take root 5 on the other side. So I would get sine theta plus 26.57 equals 2 by root 5. Now it's positive, and think about it this way, that first of all I need to find out these. Okay, so let's call it A. Let's say it is sine of A equals 2 by root 5. And let's look at the basic angle. So 2 by root 5 would give me A would be 63.43. Okay, I am just going to talk about A for now. So this is in the first quadrant and sine is positive in the second quadrant. For the first quadrant at 63.43. This is also 63.43, but angle in the second quadrant is basically like this. So it would be 180 minus 63.43, and the other value would be 116.57 degrees. Okay, so these are the two values for theta, and now I need to subtract 26.57 to find out the value of theta, because these values are for A basically. Okay, so A is equal to theta plus 26.57. I can think about it as theta is equal to A minus 26.57. So this would imply that theta is 63.43 minus 26.57. So this would give me theta equals 36.9. And then it's 116.57 minus the 26.57. So that's 90 degrees. So this is going to be the answer. Okay. So here in this question, you were asked to solve this equation, and initially sine and cos were different. Now you know if you are in a scenario where you have two different trigonometric functions and their sine and cos, you can just convert that thing to this form, and then you would just be having one trigonometric function, and we know how to deal with one trigonometric function at a time. Okay. So this is going to be the situation in this example. Okay. All right. Let's talk about another question just to practice it more properly. Question number 2 says express 3 cos theta plus root 3 sine theta in the form r cos theta minus alpha, where r is greater than 0 and alpha is between 0 and 90 degrees, stating the exact values of r and alpha. All right, okay. So this is basically the question. Now again, if I talk about the solution, you can think about it as a proof as well. In trigonometry, mostly we will be either solving equations, making the graphs, or we would be just, proving identity. So think about it as an identity again. Okay. I know that I need to show that 3 cos theta plus root 3 sine theta is basically equal to this for some specific value of alpha and r. So this is equal to r cos theta minus alpha. Now I am just supposed to expand this part, and this would give me cos theta minus alpha can be written as r cos theta cos alpha plus r sin theta sin alpha, and this is 3 cos theta plus root 3 sin theta. Okay. Now I need to make comparisons. With cos theta, on the left side I have 3, and on the right side I have r and I have cos alpha. So I can say that r cos alpha is equal to 3. This is the first equation. And on the left side with sine theta, I have root 3. And on the right side, I have r sine alpha. So I can say that r sine alpha is equal to root 3. Now, again, as we have done earlier as well, I am going to square everything and then add it up. So this would give me r square cos square alpha plus r square sine square alpha equals 9 plus 3. And again, I'll take r square common. This would give me cos square alpha the sine square alpha equals 12. This thing is 1, and this would imply that r is equal to root 12. Okay. Now r is root 12, and the examiner has clearly said that you need to give the exact values of r and alpha. So when it says exact values, it basically means you need to write down the value as it is. You're not supposed to convert it to a decimal. You're not supposed to give it in any other way. You're just supposed to either give the answer as a fraction or as a surd. Okay. I can certainly rewrite 12 as 2 root 3, but this is also fine. So both would be fine. Okay. Now let's see how to find out alpha. So I know that r cos alpha is equal to 3 and r sine alpha is equal to root 3. This is equation 1. Equation 2, I can do equation 2 divided by equation 1, and this would give me r sine alpha divided by r cos alpha equals root 3 divided by 3. This and this would be cancelled, and I would get tan alpha equals root 3 by 3, and alpha is going to be 30 degrees here. Okay, so we got the exact answer directly, so I can write it as 3 cos theta plus root 3 sine theta is basically equal to root 12 cos theta minus 30 degrees. This is what I had to prove. Okay, and we are able to do it correctly. All right, okay, let's talk about the second part of the question. Determine the greatest and least possible values of 3 cos theta plus root 3 sine theta squared minus 5 as theta varies. Okay, all right. So we need to find out the greatest and the least possible values of this thing. Right here. Okay. All right. So let's understand the process. Now I know that 3 cos theta plus root 3 sine theta was basically equal to root 12 cos theta minus 30 degrees. This is what I know, right? So since this part is same as this one, so for now I am going to use this because I have one trigonometric identity over here. Okay, so we know that cos theta, cos 2 theta, cos theta plus 1000, cos theta plus alpha, cos theta minus alpha, whatever it is, but whenever the coefficient of cos is 1, the minimum possible value is -1 and the maximum possible value is 1. So this is what I can write certainly. When I would have this, when I would have root 12 cos theta minus 30 degrees, root 12 would be multiplied on both sides, and this is what I am going to have. Okay. Next, I am going to square this part. This means I am going to square this part. So let's just square this. If I'll square this, I would have to square all the sides, okay? And when I will do so, this part is very important. When I will do so, when I will square this part and when I will square this part, this would become 12, certainly. I'll write it as root 12 cos theta minus 30 degrees whole squared. But what would this become? Am I going to write down 12 again for this? No. When I will square this part, this is going to become 0. Why 0? Because I won't say that this is root 12. Like it will become 12. Why can't I say so? Because this side, the greatest possible value is 12, right? So the smallest possible value is going to be 0, and this is how it is every time. Okay, every time. Okay, then we have -5. So I am going to introduce -5 on all the sides. So root 12 cos theta minus 30 minus 5, and I have 12. So I will be writing down -5 here and -5 here. I've written -5 here, -5 here, and this would become -5 less than equal to, this was already squared, root 12 cos theta minus 30 squared minus 5 is less than equal to 8. So 7. So we know that the greatest possible value is 7 and the least possible value is -5, and this is going to be the answer. Okay, all right, let's understand the question first. It was about determining the greatest and least possible values of this expression right here as theta varies. Okay, so one thing is certain, that whatever value of theta is going to be, the maximum and the minimum, like we are not supposed to give a certain value, we're just supposed to give the maximum and minimum value. So that totally depends upon the coefficient of cos. This is cos, the coefficient is 1, that's why the minimum value would be -1, the maximum value would be 1. Now here I have root 12, so I wanted to write down root 12 here, so I multiplied root 12 here and here. Then this thing was squared. If this thing was squared, I was supposed to square this thing, and when I squared this thing, I had to square all the parts of the inequality. So this gave me 0, this gave me root 12, and this is going to stay as it is. So everything was done, and the last part was just introducing -5. So I added -5 on all three sides, and finally I got -5 and 7. So this means that the greatest possible value is this one, that's 7, and the least possible value is this one, that's -5, and this is going to be the answer. Okay, so in this session we had a detailed discussion about expressing and writing the trigonometric expressions in different forms, and this would help you in proving identities, in solving questions, and in proving something of exactly this type. Okay, so it's simple. You can either memorize the method. I won't suggest memorizing it, because obviously it's maths and we can't remember a lot of things in maths. So the best way is, whatever the scenario is, whatever the question is, just use logic. Since you were supposed to prove this as this, so I just compared both sides, and after comparison I was able to write it down correctly. Okay, then for the next part, I was supposed to solve the equation. So since the word was hence, it meant I was supposed to use the previous part, and I used this thing, and I was able to find the theta easily, right? Okay, and then again the same was the question with a different scenario. And finally, we just did some effort in seeing or in finding out the greatest and least possible values of this thing, right? Okay, all right. So that is it. I hope you guys were able to understand everything. I'll see you next time with another video. Take care, all of you, and Allah Hafiz.